The 2 tests that you need to pass in order to manifest. Now, unfortunately, the moment you begin to embark on a new frequency, a new reality, your desired reality, things start to get a bit crazy. And it's important that you know how to navigate that, because this is the most important part. The most important part of actually stepping out into a new reality isn't being able to tap into the frequency or become the vibrational alignment of whatever it is that you want. It's actually a word more important, which is maintaining. A large part of the failure of you to manifest or materialize what you want comes from an inability when it comes to maintaining frequency. Maintaining is everything. Maintaining is everything. Maintain. Just like how Jamaicans think plantain is plantain. Maintain. Now I'm going to show you how to maintain frequency so your desired reality actually comes to pass, because more often than not, you're quite close to materializing what it is that you want. You've been doing the work, and there's not a lot of work to do, but you've been doing it. But all that work can disappear the moment you begin to fail these 2 tests that the universe does to G-check if you're really about the frequency that you say you're on. So let's get into it. Now, before I actually get into these 2 tests and how you can pass them so you never fall back into failure, there's something that you need to know about the universe and its system. Because if you don't have the foundation on why the tests occur, then even when you pass them, you'll end up failing again because you don't understand the base mechanics of the system of the universe. And whoever doesn't know the base mechanics of the universe suffers, unfortunately. Now, what I call energetic equilibrium. This is what the universe likes. The universe likes energetic equilibrium. Another way of saying that is balance. The universe likes balance. So, here's what happens the moment you decide that you want to be a smart nigga and the universe sees you stepping out into your new desired reality. And this is how you need to conceptualize the psychology. So, it likes balance. So let's say this is a smooth surface. You come along across a guy's channel like me, and you begin saying, I want to move towards my desired reality. Okay, I'm becoming the vibrational alignment of what it is that I want. What you end up doing is sticking your head out of the balance of the universe. So then the universe is like, nah. That's supposed to be a hammer. Let's just pretend this is a hammer. Yeah, let's pretend this is a hammer. So like a nail that is stood out, the universe wants to hammer your ass back in. Pause. And it wants to do that for the purpose of it liking balance. Because within energetic equilibrium, energetic balance, a balance of everybody being where they're supposed to be, it gives it a sense of convenience. And that aspect of convenience is what the universe likes, because who likes complexity? Who likes things to be extra? Nah, get back in place. That's what happens the moment you begin to step out on a new frequency. And this is the reason the 2 tests occur. The universe wants to have an easy time. It wants its convenience. When you step out onto a new frequency, you're kind of energetically doing too much. So it wants to put you back into your place. It wants to put you back into your place so you can remain hammered in place. This is a hammer, I swear. This is a hammer, I promise. Anyways, now that you niggas understand what I just said, energetic equilibrium, balance. The moment you begin to step out into a new frequency, you begin to be a nail that is above the surface and the universe wants to hammer you in. The most easiest example that you can see this within is lottery winners. People who win the lottery from poverty and they win 100 million and then they go broke a couple of years later. Why? Because that is an occurrence that stepped outside the confinement of energetic equilibrium within the universe. So the universe said, nah, get back into the state of consciousness, the frequency that you're used to. And then they failed these tests that I'm about to give you. Now, chances are you failed these tests. You have failed these tests. Let's just keep it real. And I'm not gonna lie to you. But the beauty is because you failed them, you're here. So now when they come up again, you're gonna be able to hammer the universe back in. Pause again. No girl me for all the drama. You make the girl be the one. Every mistress know them policy. All right, cool. Test number 1. Make sure you're taking notes. Make sure you leave them in the comments. You already know how we do. Test number 1. This is probably what you're experiencing right now. If the universe has done its job, then the right people should be watching this particular video. Now, I'm not going to be like them niggas who put their YouTube title as, you're on the frequency to see this. So it's all gimmicks. Please step away from those type of gimmicks and focus on information that you can actually practically use to change your reality. Because spirituality without the ability to control your reality is vanity. And you're not going to control your reality through gimmicks. Like I see niggas reading tarot cards on TikTok saying, this is what you're going through. But there's like 100 niggas on the live. How can each and every person be going through the same thing? Like, now, test number 1. Things get worse. Now, as you begin to stepping out into a new version of you, moving towards your desired reality, what you're definitely going to experience is things getting worse. Worse than your present condition. Things are going to go wrong. Things are going to go left. It's going to be bad. You're going to be down bad. You're going to end up thinking to yourself, this doesn't make any sense. I've been doing better. How the hell is this happening? Like, what the hell is going on? You know, I've been doing my self-work, I've been doing my meditations, I've been focused on my desired reality, I've been making sure that I'm feeling the emotions I would feel in that particular desired reality. My thoughts have been fairly good. Why the hell is stuff going left? It's because of this test. Now, you have to understand, your old frequency is an entity. It is a non-physical being that exists for the very purpose it was created. It is the old version of you. It thrives upon your emotions. It thrives upon your emotions because your emotion is energy emotion, and your emotion is the most powerful energy source in reality. Emotion is the language of God. So it makes things get progressively worse. I'm talking about progressively worse. You know, I remember, you know, as I was trying to make a certain amount of money per month, stuff just started going left. Things were breaking in the house. I was getting parking tickets at the worst time. Head on my hands. I was like, what the hell is going on? This doesn't make sense. What the hell is going on? And you know that this is happening when you end up saying this right here. Why me, man? If you ever find yourself saying, why me, then you're going through it, my boy. Or my sis. You're going through it. For the mere purpose that this old version, this old frequency, this frequency that you're attempting to leave, it is an entity that has existed for a multitude of years. And because it's existed for a multitude of years, it has had the opportunity to thrive off your energy for a multitude of years. So now it is a literal spiritual entity. So if we make them like that, it's a literal spiritual entity that exists. Now, because it exists, as you start trying to be this new version of you and step into your desired reality, he's like, hold on, what? What? Nah. Come back here now. So what does it do? It begins to make things in your reality go worse. And the way that you can always characterize this is if things seem completely random but perfectly timed. Perfectly timed to hit you the hardest. Things seem chaotic. It doesn't even make sense. You've really been putting in that work. You've really been doing what you're supposed to be doing. And things just seem to get worse. Because the only thing that this thing wants is to not let you leave. You're trying to break away from it when you've been holding hands for years. And bear in mind, I want you to conceptualize it as this. Whatever point you are in your life right now, you've existed, you've went living probably decades in this old frequency. This old frequency has been around for decades. So the moment that you leave, it's like, hold on, we've been together for like 10, 20 years. Where are you going? Where are you going? You're trying to break the connection. Meanwhile, you're being held. And you're being held because this doesn't want to die. It's a living entity, doesn't want to die. Why would it want to die? So the one thing that both of these tests, before I even cover the next one, the one thing that both of these tests want is an emotional reaction. Going on my knees, pause. The reason it wants an emotional reaction is because it wants you to be sad. It wants you to be angry. It wants you to be frustrated. It wants you to be annoyed. It wants you to enter despair. Why? Because all of these emotions are directly reinforced into the subconscious mind and become a very powerful glue to the old frequency. This entity, it wants to trigger you. It literally wants you to be as mad as possible. Mad as possible. It wants you to get frustrated. It wants you to feel hopeless. It wants you to be annoyed. It wants you to feel that despair. Because within that emotional reaction is the language of the subconscious mind. People say the language of the subconscious mind is repetition. I don't agree. And based upon the work that I do for my clients, if you want to see that link in the description, is definitely the only language of the subconscious mind is emotion. Because if I do something to traumatize you, you only need to go through something once for your entire paradigm to be completely shifted. Something so traumatic, something so deeply emotional that it directly impresses your subconscious mind. And I want you to understand that more powerful than thought is emotion. Emotion is the language of God. You have to understand that when we're considering what are thoughts aren't something you make, they're something you experience. You're like how can I conceptualize this? You're like a phone that's connected to Wi-Fi, right? You are plugged into a particular data center that you can retrieve from. That's what thoughts, there's something that you experience. But when we're talking about emotion being the language of God, emotion being the most powerful energy source in reality, emotion being the actual first thing that you get as a baby. Funnily enough, the brain is the operating system of the body, but you grow a heart before you grow a brain. It is quite literally the first organ that God gives you. Proverbs 4:23, guard the heart because life springs from it. The entire aspect, even as a man thinketh, everybody just stops right there in that verse. But the second part of that verse is, as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. Because thoughts that are emotionally charged have a different particular type of vibration, which allows for them to materialize in our third dimensional realm much more easier. But going on this whole point, if your old frequency can piss you off, because best believe, nigga, it definitely will, you're gonna have a bunch of negative thoughts which are resonant with the old frequency because you're gonna be frustrated. But would somebody in your desired reality be frustrated? Probably not. Would somebody in your desired reality be annoyed? Probably not. Would someone in your desired reality be sad? Probably not. If not, so then what does that indicate to the universe? That you're in your old frequency. Combine that with the emotions that it gets you to experience, emotions being the language of God and the only language of the subconscious mind. You get glued to your old frequency and you can't even escape, nigga. And this is really how it goes. This is really, really how it goes. And it's not until you have the ability to get past this test that you're gonna shift anywhere. Because I actually saw someone in the comments, they said, Nero, you know, I've been watching your videos, but things are getting worse. And that's the perfect sign. Because when things are getting worse, what you have to conceptualize it is the old frequency is becoming so worried that it's doing its absolute most to keep you trapped and confined within its paradigm. So it begins to progressively make things worse. So the first thing that you need to do, and I'll give you the whole step-by-step process at the end on how to do that, but the first thing that you need to do in order to beat or pass this test is to actually place yourself above it with a high level of understanding of what is being taken place. It's actually a good thing that things are getting worse, because once you alter your perception, you alter your projection. You have to understand that what you experience in reality is nothing more than a vibration. If you want to change the vibration, always remember you must change the concentration. Concentration alters your vibration, which alters what side of reality you're experiencing. If you're experiencing a side where things are getting worse, once you begin to alter your perception, altering your concentration and focus within the positive element specifically of that desired reality, you alchemize reality by changing things from getting worse to actually reinforcing it to your desired reality, which I'm going to show you how to do. So just relax, you're going to get some, you're going to get some. Now, onto the second one. One of them, two of them, onto the second test now. You know, singing all these songs, people are going to think I'm Jamaican. Guys, I'm not Jamaican. Jamaicans want me to be Jamaican, but I'm not Jamaican. I am Zimbabwean. I'm going to say this again for the record. Nigerians want me to be Nigerian. Unfortunately, it's just not happening, guys. And apparently people want me to be from Baltimore, but unfortunately, I'm not from Baltimore, guys. And somebody said, when did CJ from GTA start teaching metaphysics? Nigga, this is the UK DLC pack right here. This is the consciousness English pack right here. And somebody said the way I clean my board is very sensual. You need to go take a cold shower, man. Just look at yourself in the mirror and really just think about what you just said. I'm out here trying to give niggas consciousness and you lot out here doing a mad thing. All right, cool. Test number 2. Nothing is changing. You've been putting in work for a minute. Pause. You've been putting in work for a minute. You've been doing all the work that you need to do. You've been on the board, making sure you're reading, watching videos like this, taking your notes, letting it marinate, doing the work. Nothing's changing. And you feel stupid. Let's be real, nigga, you feel stupid. You don't have to lie to me, because I felt this before. You feel stupid. It's like, the fuck am I doing? And why is nothing changing? Like, what is going on? And that is the second test from the universe. Nothing changes. You see, this particular test is slightly different from the first one, but what this test is trying to do is trying to frustrate you. Because it knows if this is happening, then this particular test knows that you are too tired to reality. And what I mean by that is the true definition of manifestation. And I'm going to repeat this over and over and over and over and over and over again so you can truly understand it. Because like I said, it took me 8 years and reading nearly 400 books and spending way more money than I should have to find out this to be the truest definition of manifestation. And no, it's not changing reality. And no, you're not a smart nigga. It's not changing reality with my thoughts. The true definition of manifestation, the definition that will quite literally liberate you. And by the way, I saw one guy, I think I pinned it in one of my videos. He said that, his life has changed after watching my videos and he's doubled the money he made. Like, that's the stuff that I love. I really do love seeing that because I make all of my videos practical. Like, as much as I like you niggas, I'm not just gonna talk and make you feel good. I want you to understand that this is information for you to practically use to get yourself out of the mental gymnastics you might be going through so you can actually move towards your desired reality. Because spirituality without the ability to control your reality is vanity. I always need you to remember that. Until you can actually control your reality, nigga, all of this CMOS and plant-based and Grand Rising and all of this, it doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean anything because I don't want you to be dealing with the same problems you've been dealing with. If you're truly the manifestation, the physical expression of God, then that part of that is owning your world, owning your reality. And somebody said Nero's a reincarnate of Thoth. No, nigga, I'm not a reincarnate of anyone. I'm just me. Like, I could play into all that spiritual shit and be like, yes, I just channeled a message. Yes. But no, that's just ridiculous. And it's just not what I'm on. It's just corny to me. I'm just Nero. Like, I'm just Nero. Now, the true definition of manifestation is shifting internally to a degree to which you are no longer emotionally dependent upon seeing reality change. Oh, my back just cracked. Pause. Reality. Reality change. That is the true definition of manifestation. So if you are too tied to the physical plane, that means you're expecting reality to change. And what is that an indication of to the universe? If you're expecting change, then that means you are not in change. And unfortunately, you can only have what you already have. So then no change occurs. You have to understand the way the ego begins to conceptualize things, because you're so used to operating within the third dimensional realm, you create this unconscious link between action and result. For example, if I'm thirsty, I pick up a drink, I drink it, I've taken an action to satisfy my thirst. Pause. That one could be slightly nefarious, but you get the point. If I want to clean this board, I have to wipe my hands, I take an action to get a result. And then action and result become interlinked in your mind without understanding that within this physical realm is entirely in effect. And the mental realm is the realm of cause. So the result that you get, the result that you experience, the action that you're taking actually doesn't produce the result. What produces the result is it first existing vibrationally to then exist physically. What actually happens is, in this entire test in particular, is nothing changes because it wants to frustrate you. It wants to frustrate you because you're so used to the idea that action equals result. And if you don't see a result, if you don't see a change, it knows you're going to be frustrated. And then that frustration emits our particular frequency, which is a glue to the old reality. In case you haven't realized, your old reality is very sneaky. And if you do not have the ability to outthink it, to out-frequency it, to out-vibrate it, you will fall back straight to it. That was a bar, make sure you write that down. But you get the gist of it. The base premise of this entire thing, what it always wants, is just always wanting an emotional reaction. So if you feel like the world around you is trying to trigger you, it's because it is. It is. And it's trying to trigger you because you don't have the ability to control your emotion. Because if this old frequency can control your emotion, it controls your energy motion. that energy emotion becomes a singular point of vibration. That vibration repeated over and over again becomes a rhythm, which then becomes a frequency, which then becomes a reality. And when it becomes a reality, you're stuck. So the one thing it's always going to target is an emotional reaction out of you. And there's a level of awareness that you have to exercise. And bear in mind, if it takes you a while to realize that the universe is trying to trigger you, please don't beat yourself up about it, because you can't control your first thought, but you can control your second thought and your third one. And that's something to be aware of, because you may not catch yourself out straight away. But so long as you catch yourself out, it puts you in a position where we can better navigate this old frequency. Because I'm not letting you go back to the old frequency, nigga. The fact that you're here, I'm not letting you go back there. We're done with that. And because we're done with that, we need to know how to deal with that. You know what I'm saying? You have to know how to deal with it. Because if you don't know how to deal with who should I choose? If you don't know how to deal with Frieza from Dragon Ball Z, he's gonna mess you up. If you don't know how to deal with anything in your reality, it's gonna mess you up. But the difference of us being 21st century alchemists is the understanding that we deal with things vibrationally so they alter reality physically. That's what we do. And that whole game is an entirely mental game. Remember, the first law of the universe is entirely mental. And because the universe is entirely mental, we need to mentally rearrange the building blocks of your reality to restructure the world that you walk in. And it all begins with passing these two tests. Now, let me ask you a question. Do you want to go back to your old reality? If yes, I don't know if you can block a nigga on YouTube, but block me, because I don't know what you're doing here. But more than likely you said no. So let me show you how to deal with these tests. Yo, AJ, you know someone commented that Spider-Man's the best superhero. I think in a previous video I must have mentioned Marvel or something.
I agree.
You think Spider-Man's the best superhero?
Spider-Man's cool. He's the best?
Marvel or DC, or just both?
Marvel.
Captain America.
Yeah, you're tripping. DC?
Batman.
Yeah, you're tripping again. Flash.
You think the Flash is better than Batman?
Why niggas
Same
always to me about
same moms.
Yeah, no, Flash.
Same moms.
Flash is cool. How can a man pick Batman?
Guys, as you can see what I'm dealing with here.
Batman ain't even got powers, bro.
Batman doesn't have powers, but he still beats everybody.
Okay.
Are you serious right now?
Hmm.
Spider-Man. Okay, truthfully, Captain America is my favorite, but I know he's not the best.
You know Spider-Man's better. Spider-Man
is not better. Have you lost your mind? Peter Parker.
Yes.
Who lost his thing in the last one? Allow it, man. Give it a rest. Give it a rest. Give it a rest. Anyway, guys, moving on from free trauma, as AJ just gave me, from saying the Flash is the Flash.
Yeah, bro.
Barry.
Yes, Barry Allen. Barry Allen. He would run circles around Batman.
Are you Bruce Wayne? Even the name Bruce Wayne is just harder than Barry.
The name's harder, but the powers they ain't hitting.
Flash, you know. Flash. Guys, I'm so sorry about that. I'm genuinely so sorry you had to hear that. I don't even know what I don't even know. Anyways, when it comes to dealing with these two tests of the universe, primarily both of them have a common denominator, and that is that they're both going for an emotional reaction. And I want you to conceptualize it in this manner. So let's say that you wake up, and then let's say this is you. You're on a good day so far, nothing's going crazy. You're like, cool, I'm doing my work, you know, I'm in a good state. And then boom, something goes left. Bam. I'll put bam here for something that is triggering, something that frustrates you, something that makes you sad, something that annoys you, something that just couldn't have happened at a more worse time. You're an experience, and within this bam, you experience an emotional reaction. that particular emotional reaction that you have then takes you off your path to, if we say DR, not DR for Dominican Republic for you horny niggas, DR equating to desired reality, it takes you off your path down to a UR, an unwanted reality. Simply for the fact that your emotional reaction is powerful enough to alter your frequency. When your frequency is altered, the path that you're moving on is altered. So this is exactly what happens as you begin to emotionally react to reality. And this is what both tests want. So in order for you to surpass these tests, you need to be able to not react. It is literally that simple. Leonardo da Vinci said simplicity is the ultimate form of sophistication. I had like 3 clients join me yesterday, and the commonality between what they all said about me, they said, you explain things in such a simple way. And it's because anybody who wants to use all these, I don't care, for the mere fact that more important than exercising my ego, making myself seem smarter than I am by obfuscating information, is making sure that you actually understand it. And as Leonardo da Vinci says, simplicity is the ultimate form of sophistication. And this is as simple as it gets. If you can gain the ability not to react to your reality, then when the potential frequency of the unwanted reality pops up as a potential pathway, you don't enter it and you stay on the course all the way straight to DR. Now, okay, Nero, I get it, Nero, but you know, how do I actually go about not reacting? Because I just want to react. Of course you want to react, because that's your default programming. Go watch my video on the 3 T's. I take you through a step-by-step process on how to not react, but I'm gonna simplify it for this particular video. The way that you not react is by maintaining an elevated level of awareness. When you maintain an elevated level of awareness that, hold on. This is like that clip in Boondocks. I don't know, for those of you that know Boondocks, AJ doesn't know Boondocks, but for those of you that know Boondocks, there's what's called a nigger moment, when 2 niggers bump into each other shoulder to shoulder, and then they just start shooting at each other. There's a scene where a nigger bumps into a white guy, and the white guy turns around, he's like, hold on, I'm white, and he just laughs about it, understanding that that's not within his paradigm. Now, of course, that's a joke clip, but this is the same instance right here, to which you need to understand that you are an alchemist that is forever creating. And if you react, you are creating the reaction. You are perpetuating the reaction through sustaining it through the emotion, the energy motion, the vibration, the frequency, which then turns into a reality. And because, like that guy in that clip, you are an alchemist, you must maintain the idea that this is just trying to trigger you. And when you know something is trying to trigger you, it puts you on a whole different plane entirely in the way that you look at it. When you know somebody's just trying to annoy you, it's not like when you don't know they're trying to annoy you, because when you don't know, you're like, are you being serious right now? Like, are you being serious? Like, have you lost your mind? Like, are you being serious? But when you know they're trying to annoy you, you're just there like, and it all begins with that elevated level of awareness, because that elevated level of awareness puts you on a particular mountain. And that mountain, the esoteric biblical representation that every prophet that spoke to God went on top of a mountain, is a reference to elevating your mind beyond the conceptions of the world around you and to stand with an elevated level of perspective when it comes to the way that you look at reality. And that's the first step. The first step is understanding that because this is just trying to trigger you, why should you react? Which changes everything entirely. Because when you know that this is just something that's trying to trigger you, you're just like, are you serious right now? Now after, and I'm gonna write this step by step. Nah, this orange color is terrible. Yeah, I don't really like the orange one. Somebody said you're getting more swollen every video. I appreciate that. I've been putting in work, man. Been putting in work. Literally training like I got my tuning exams. Real talk. Now, No. Not pink either. You know what? Let me just stick to black. So the first thing is an elevated awareness. Then when you have an elevated awareness, because you've already been doing amazing work in everything that you're doing, and by the way, I'm extremely proud of you, genuinely. You're on the right path, you're maintaining your frequency. Well, now you're gonna have the ability to maintain it more, but you're on the right path and I'm proud of you. And I say that because chances are you're a black sheep like me, you're on a different frequency. So there's not many people around you that can truly comprehend the greatness of what you're evolving into. So I'm proud of you. Now, elevated awareness is the first step. The second step is to focus on what the tests indicate. And what do the tests indicate, ladies and gentlemen? I mentioned this earlier. The tests indicate that it is about, and major pause on this, it is about to come. Your desired reality is literally quite around the corner. And these tests are an indication of your desired reality about to come. And so long as you're able to focus on it, focus is the centralization of energy. And a centralization of energy eventually leads to that energy compounding. That compounding eventually becomes a frequency, which becomes a reality. The more that you focus on the idea that because of everything that you're going through, your desired reality is coming around, you're re-altering and redefining what reality is. And you don't become a god of your reality until you redefine what things mean. When nothing is changing or things are going wrong, the humanistic conception is nothing changing is a bad thing. When things are going worse, it's also a bad thing. And you accept those at face value. So then they become truths that are perpetuated within your reality. But when you alter your perspective on those things, when you change the way you look at life, life changes the way it looks at you, you alter the vibration of that particular experience, altering the vibration of your reality to put you closer towards your desired reality by being able to surpass the dark before the dawn. Because that's what it is. It's the dark before the dawn. So long as you're able to focus on what these tests mean, which is your desired reality is about to come, and you keep that top of mind, watch how quick your reality is going to transform and build upon all the work you've been doing, because all the work you've been doing is still there. The old frequency just wants you to think that all the work you're doing is useless. So you get apathetic and you're like, what the fuck is the point? What's the point in me even trying? That's what it wants. So it makes you forget all the work that you've done by making it appear to be useless or ineffective. But that work is right there. And when you're able to first maintain an elevated level of awareness and then focus that these tests mean your desires is about to come, that ceiling removes and you're straight there.